Now that OG Fortnite Chapter 1 Season 2 has been out for a little while, today I wanted to sit down and actually give my thoughts on it. How good is it actually? But we are adding a little bit more to it as we've been doing in all of these videos. I ended up asking on Twitter how people felt about this, so we're going to take a look at what I think about the season and get a gauge on how everybody else feels about it as well. Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. Guys, usually I do this a couple days in, but honestly, I don't know if it slipped my mind or if it's because I haven't really been doing it for OG seasons because it's only the second one, but I think, and especially if this video does well, so please give me some feedback down below. I want to start talking about like maybe reviewing these seasons as if they were brand new ones or what it's like to re-experience them. Regardless, let's get into it. So my initial thoughts on season 2. I think it is a massive step up from OG season 1. I'm not going to get into the entire conversation with you guys, just in case you haven't been following the channel, you don't know how I feel. I liked Chapter 1, Season 1, when there was no bots, skill-based matchmaking at the very beginning. That's what kept me engaged with it, but once they took it out, I wasn't really feeling it. Now that they're adding new POIs, things like Junk Junction, Haunted Hills, we actually have Tilted Towers. While it's not as hype and those new POIs aren't quite like the addition of the magnitude that they were once they first came around, I'm still quite enjoying myself. I love that we have traps. That's honestly probably... traps along with impulse grenades are probably the biggest thing for me where like I'm having a lot of fun, because with the impulse grenades, I love using them actually tactically and I love just trolling my teammates. That was the fun, that was the magic of OG Fortnite. Another thing is I love traps and I miss them so much, man. I don't understand why they're not in every iteration of Fortnite, whether that's traps, bouncers, fire traps, I don't care. Just utilize that trap slot. The ARs could be better, like just the regular loot pool in general. There's some weapons that I like to use, but nothing actually makes me go, okay, this is fun to use. This is awesome. But for the most part, I've always been a really big fan of the layout of the Chapter 1 map. I enjoy the terrain, the different mountains. I think it's just fun to play on. Now that it's not Season 1, the map is getting a little bit more fleshed out. If you guys have been following the channel, you would know that I'm very excited for the later seasons of Chapter 1. I'm definitely going to be enjoying those seasons more than this, but again, huge step up this season, but it's not quite to the level that it's taking me away from Chapter 6 and from Reload. I would still rather play both of those before I would come to a Fortnite OG experience, but I am still playing it. I'm still enjoying it. The POIs are great. It's very nostalgic, and honestly, I wish I had a little bit more to expand upon it, because I think the biggest problem is we've already experienced these types of things. Now, I started playing Fortnite in Chapter 1 Season 3, but there are very little changes compared to Season 2, so I'm basically re-experiencing what I saw in OG Fortnite. I can't wait for Lucky Landing, of course. Like, it's just like part being the Fortnite community, right? I never really landed at Lucky Landing, and I didn't appreciate it, but I'm excited to re-experience it again. Regardless, probably one of the quicker reviews we've done for a season in general. I just wish, like, we've all known it before. I don't have to dive into the loot pool. It's not like I can tell you guys what a revolver is, right? So I wanted to expand upon this video, and I wanted to ask you guys over on X how you felt about your experience with OG Fortnite Chapter 1 Season 2 so far. So long to say, by the way. But anyways, thank you everybody who have participated. Like and subscribe. Let's get into the rest of the video for today. So I ended up asking this over on X. Now that it's been out for a little while, how do you feel about OG Season 2? Are you still excited? Is there a reason you prefer to play it over the other modes? Tell me anything and I will include some replies in an upcoming video. Thank you for your time, and as always, guys, thank you very much for your time. If you want to participate in these videos, we have this type of content all the time. You can follow me over on X at Clen YouTube, or you can find the direct link in the description down below, or the easiest thing, near the top will be the link tree. It can take you right there, guys. Thank you so much again. Like and subscribe. I always forget if I said that, but anyways, let's get into what Ragnar had to say. I think OG Season 2 is better than OG Season 1. The map is more developed and the loot pool is more balanced in my opinion. I do think when it gets to later seasons, I will enjoy it more. And I'm hoping that, and I forgot to mention it too. We just talked about it in the previous video, so I'm not going to get like completely into it. The changes to the storm, that I really don't like. I really don't like that. We can dive into that video if you're interested in my take on that, but the loot pool is more balanced. I am very excited about moving on to the later seasons, but what just happened and the reason why I talked about that update is I'm really worried. I'm worried that Epic Games isn't going to actually give us that OG experience. They're going to start nerfing stuff. So, unfortunately, we'll just have to wait and see, okay? What if Central had this to say? It's decent and it's fine to play in intervals. I think I can't say much as I am not an OG Chapter 3 starter, but I will say I miss traps. But you know what's really cool about this, and it's been really nice to see a lot of people actually finally getting to experience this for the first time. Like, I've never experienced Season 1 or Season 2, and I kind of knew what to expect with Season 1, the map being as bland as it was. Like, I knew that I wouldn't enjoy it nearly as much as other seasons, but it's so cool for so many people who started it outside of Chapter 1 actually get to sit down and re-experience that. Let's continue on to, okay, I'm on the meanest drugs right now. Not gonna lie, it's gonna be boring until Season 4 to 8. I might play Reload for the remainder of the months. Until then, I'll still play occasionally. So, I'm kind of with that. I am playing OG more on occasion because, like, the modes that are in Fortnite right now, in my opinion, are much more worth playing. I can't wait till we get to Season 4, and especially once we get to 7, 8, 9, and X. Man, please, Epic Games, do it justice. Please. Okay, let's continue on to what Emmanuel had to say. I really like this season. It improves on everything Season 1 didn't do well. I love the loot pool and all the new POIs, except maybe Tilted. As someone who never got to experience the original Season 2, I get why some people see this season as Fortnite's first peak. Very well said. And there's not a ton to really break down about Season 2 because the loot pool was an upgrade, the traps were great, the POIs are great, right? Very well said. Easy to break down for Season 2, right? And Emmanuel always breaks things down nicely for us over here. Let's continue on to what Ram had to say. I definitely prefer it over Season 1 of OG. And while I still mainly play the normal Chapter 6 BR, I enjoy it. I do have a concern, however, and that is I don't know what they can do for Season 3 to keep a steady player count with one map change and most of the same guns. That's a really good point, right? I've been saying for a long time that I was excited to get to where I experienced Fortnite for the first time, that being Season 3, and I didn't really realize how little of a change the transition between Season 2 and Season 3 was. Regardless, I feel like there are a lot of people who will just enjoy Fortnite OG in general. Like, the map is really, really nicely laid out, and it makes for a really fun Battle Royale experience. So, if you play OG, and I don't want to say like play it so little, but if you play Fortnite enough so you don't get burnt out and you're just like at a healthy state with a video game, then I would imagine you're going to have fun in Fortnite OG because Season 3, 4, they're objectively really, really nice flowing gameplay seasons, but the problem is the player base may not end up liking that because of how spoiled we've gotten throughout the rest of Fortnite. So it's going to be interesting to see where the player base ends up enjoying OG. I'm still sitting here. I can't wait to see Season X. But guys, let me pause you for just a second. As you guys know, because I have been working very, very hard on YouTube, I have been advertising my supporter creator code. I am working tirelessly on YouTube in order to support my family and give my wife and my kid, my future kids, anything that they could ever dream for. So again, I have been advertising my supporter creator code. I ask that if you do not have a code that you are currently using in the Fortnite item shop, please consider using my code Clen. That's what I'm doing it all for, and your support means the entire world to me. Thank you very much for your time. Let's continue on to what everybody else had to say, okay? Dan had this to say. Right now, it feels very dry, and it's not really fun anymore. I don't like the idea of it being in the past, especially for not being the first time of OG came out. When it first came out, obviously it was really good, but after the second time, like, come on, can we get our BR story back? I would still like to see it back, but you know what's crazy too is apparently we're going to be able to re-experience the Fortnite storyline within this. We're going to really experience, I would imagine, things like Kevin the Cube, things like the Meteor, live events. I personally don't see it as dry, but I understand where you're coming from because, again, like, you have things like Reload and you have everything that's going on in Chapter 6. It's understandable for people to look at Chapter 1 OG, see it bland, but that's also what some people prefer. So I really I think it's a good addition either way. Headhunter Boy had this to say. It feels slightly better than Season 1, but I put emphasis on the word slightly. The loot pool feels the same. The map may have 4 locations, but damn, it still feels like it's quite deserted, excuse me. The map is filled with bugs, like the grass being different on the minimap. To be honest, it's a 5 out of 10. Interesting take. Interesting take. I still, with the locations that we have now, I would like to see more POIs on the Season 2 map, but I do like that the POIs are as they were. That's why I play OG. I want to get that OG experience. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you, though. I'm going to be honest. I've never understood the critique about the grass. Like, I get it. Like, if you would prefer the OG grass, I would too. But when I go to play, I don't notice it. I really don't. Just like I still don't notice the Chapter 5 animations for the movement. People are still hung up on that. I don't get it. For me, it's gameplay over everything. If you have a beautiful terrain, if you have beautiful animations, that's all a plus. But the game is just really, really fun for me. And me looking at grass being different isn't going to ruin my experience with Fortnite OG. To be honest with you, I think if that's a nitpick that we all have, then I think we have a pretty good, well flushed out mode, to be honest with you. But you know what? Enough people care about it that, like, I'm kind of sitting here like, maybe that's something Epic Games should be on the ball of. And I don't understand why they didn't do that, by the way. But at the same time, I just personally don't care. But anyways, Jack had this to say about Season 2. It's definitely better than Season 1, just that there are no big mid-season updates, so it gets dry after a bit. I think they might need to make them 1 month long instead, but other than that, I can't wait for Season 4 and later seasons. I think we're all kind of waiting for Season 4-ish at this point, but that's the weird part about OG is I wish that we could experience these updates as they've come about. I don't know, I can't imagine it's going to be that much more work because Epic Games already has all of the things that were updated. They just need to put them in the game, or when they download the season for OJ, you can have all those updates already downloaded within the game. That way they can just kind of hotfix it as time goes on. I think that would be the way to do it. You could have healthy updates throughout Season 1, just kind of spread them out, just calculate how much percentage it took for them throughout the season to get to that update, shrink it a little bit. I'm almost sure it's going to be 1 month long each season, but I actually like it with 2 months. I like experiencing this for a little while, and I like that we're moving slowly through all of this. Let's continue on to what Slayin had to say. Honestly, I barely played Fortnite OG because I don't see the appeal that modern Fortnite has. I've been playing since Chapter 1. People often say that Fortnite lost its identity with the changes to the UI in the locker, but I don't think so. To me, Fortnite is all about being goofy and unpredictable. I completely agree with that. The only thing that I shouldn't have said completely agree, because there's one thing I don't agree with. I think Fortnite, I don't want to say lost its identity. The word that I like to use, and I agree with a lot of people when they say, is charm. Fortnite absolutely has lost that charm. I'm interested to see if Chapter 1 OG ends up bringing back any of that charm, re-experiencing things like Kevin the Cube, re-experiencing a potential Fortnitemares update in Season 6, re-experiencing these live events. I don't know. Plus, we have a mini event coming up at the time of recording this video. That could be something very exciting. I don't know. It's interesting to think about. I don't know how that's going to go. But anyways, for the most part, I do not believe that Fortnite did lose its identity. There's just the charm that Fortnite had that's no longer there. But Fortnite is still goofy, unpredictable, wacky things going on all the time. I am really, really enjoying this state of Fortnite. I am also a Chapter 1 player. I am an OG Chapter 1 player. And I love modern Fortnite so much more than a lot of the OG seasons. Guys, if you want to hear a little bit more about me opening up about that specific Storm update, because that's something that's actually hurting OG in my opinion, then check out this video on screen. We just recently talked about it. I would love to have you over there. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.